Damn, this is some good light right here. Like, I'm gonna hurry up and make this video so I can enjoy this good light. But hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Tamiel. And today, y'all, we ain't gonna get too deep, but today we're gonna talk about truth. What is truth? Why do everybody keep talking about find your truth, define your truth? What's all this talk about truth? So truth, well, I'm gonna talk about what truth is to me first. And when I was on my way to this spot to record this video, I was thinking about this book I read that defined it so perfectly. Like, and I think it was this book I got right here called The Forms of Black Consciousness. Now, this book is a little I can never say that word, compilation. Is it compilation? It's a compile of a few different essays on Black consciousness and who this particular author thinks contributes most to the collective black consciousness, in which they reference Richard Wright as intellectual consciousness of the black race, Malcolm X as the religious consciousness of the black race, and Eldridge Cleaver as the political consciousness of the black race. Now, I didn't get to go through all of these different intellectual, religious, and political consciousnesses. I barely got through the intro of the book because I can honestly say when I read a book and I get something that contributes basically the most to whatever I'm trying to figure out, or what, it's dwindling on my mind, when I find something that answers my questions, I kind of stop there. And I should stop doing that, because then like when I revisit books, I find things and realize things that I could have realized before and could have helped me progress a lot quicker than I am when I just get what I need and leave these materials. But this book, that's why I got it on me, because I'm trying to get back through it. But this book, like I said, defined truth best for me when it talks about autobiographies and Malcolm X's autobiography in particular, and how when it talks about autobiographies and Malcolm X's autobiography in particular, and how much it contributed to defining the black identity, the black man's identity in America, even though he was directly only telling his story. He was only telling, it was the autobiography of Malcolm X. Like I said, this text really highlights the importance of, you telling your story and how much that can do for somebody else trying to figure out, what their story is, what their truth is. Now, I want to say that is what truth is. It's you telling whatever it is, your experience. We all have experiences, and we all have set experiences that have defined us, that have worked to define who you are and how you see the world. And essentially, this is your truth. This is your truth. Like I said, I'm gonna find in this book where exactly it talks about your truth. Okay, so I finally found it, and I want to read 3 important parts about that, kind of get to the root of what truth is and what your truth should mean to you. So on page 28 in Forms of Black Consciousness, we're going to talk about autobiographies. Now, the text says, it offers us a picture from a specific present viewpoint of a coherent shaping of an individual past reached by means of introspection and memory of a special sort, wherein the self is seen as a developing entity, changing by definable stages, and where the knowledge of the self links with the knowledge of the external world, and both together provide us with a deep and true grasp of reality. As I mentioned before, when you tell your truth as Malcolm X told his truth and was able to relate to all black men in America in his autobiography, The History of Malcolm X, and telling your truth, you are not just speaking on the truth of what happened to you, but you are speaking on the truth of the reality of so many people that you may not even realize. When people say you're not going through this alone, and when you go to spaces and you talk to people and you realize, like, hey, damn, you went through that too. Or when you got friends and y'all going through the same, relationship issues as each other, there's always somebody that's probably been in the same shoes as you. Even though they might not have experienced the exact same thing as you, we all express emotions and define emotions with the same words, in the same ways. So in a way, when you are expressing, how this thing made you feel, what you learned from this experience, you are helping those things arise in whoever you're sharing that experience with. Like, for example, I'm working on a piece right now where I'm kind of trying to get my truth out on a page without directly shouting, "This is my truth." So in one of the excerpts I'm writing, I talk about how I used to tell people that I was emotionally damaged. Now, nobody ever told me what emotionally damaged mean. I actually didn't even never hear of this until I was watching TV one day and it kind of came up, and I'm like, oh, I've been using that. So me, as I said in this excerpt that I'm writing, I kind of only told people this out of manipulation, out of trying to get them to do and act how I wanted them to act. But now that I realize it, and even as I was writing this, I start to realize, like, damn, I was really emotionally damaged because I was really dependent on somebody to give me what I was supposed to be giving myself, to give me what I thought I was too broken to give myself. And essentially that's what emotionally damaged meant to me. So I kind of felt like me getting this on paper kind of helped me realize, damn, somebody else has been through this. Somebody else knows what this feels like. And even when I allow people to read some of the things that I'm writing and put in this piece, they're like, damn, you put it in exact words. And that's all it really is. When you tell your truth, when you share the experiences that you've been through and how you've grown from them, what you've learned from them, you're not doing anything but unlocking that door in somebody else's mind who is yet to realize, why am I going through this? Why is this person in my life? When you're telling your truth, you're just giving somebody else an outline to look at, to kind of see, what fits and what works for them. And, not everything applies to all of us. That's why, some things you may hear and you may relate to and you may not always relate to. But at the same time, generally, when you're sharing your truth, there is somebody who shares that truth, that shares that reality with you, even though if it's not exactly the same, and that is essentially what truth is. That is what your truth is, what defines you and how your experiences define you as a person, how your experiences and the things you learn have defined your perception of how you see the world. And I really like this book because, here, let me read something else. Malcolm X's autobiography follows the accepted pattern of moving from loss of identity to an awareness of his predicament and some kind of identity. He differs from the earlier autobiographers in giving his people a basis on which they could build up their identity on equal terms with the whites. Towards the end of Malcolm X's life, the black men were no longer the recipients of concessions, but could speak and demand human rights from a position of power. So you see how him speaking out and giving his truth encourage other black men to stand up and give their truth. And that is the power of your truth, is giving other people that platform to say, okay, damn, you told your story, my story was just like that. And then we get to hear their story and see why they're the person they are. See, how those things that have happened to them are reflected in the way that they treat people today. Are they a better person? Have they let these things drag them down and now, they're an asshole and nobody wants to be around them? We all get to see these things through identifying somebody's truth. And when you see somebody's truth, you see why they act the way they act. You see why they say the things they say and why they are the person that they are. So this is why I'm gonna end this. I hope y'all got a little idea of what truth is, and I want y'all to go and explore this concept of truth. Here we go. Find your truth. As cliche as that may sound, it's all essentially the same as finding yourself. Find, how your past defines you. Find how your future is going to be defined by the person that you are today and the path that you want to take to be somebody else or be the same person that you are and just grow into a better you. It's all about first getting to know where you are and who you are and where you stand right now. So I want to say, don't think too far into the future about who you want to be, or, don't think back into the past about who you used to be. Think more about who you are right now and what that means for the type of person that, you express into the world, So think about all of those things. Keep truth on your mind. Meditate on it. Think about it. Write it down. Manifest it. Truth. I love y'all. I'm so glad I made this video. I'm thinking about this. And if you have any questions, anything, I'm put all my social medias down below so you can hit me up and ask me any more questions about truth. Try to find ways that you can direct your truth into, you know, clarity, into making it clear to you and where you should go next. I talked a little bit past the outro, but that's cool. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next